Hello, I am back with a lovely burn on my face. Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what this is. I blew out a candle and the wax came back in my face. This is just a day in the life of me. So this video is about 5 reasons why you may have gained weight on the scales, but don't panic, it is not body fat. If you can't relate to these 5 things, it might be body fat. So maybe you just want to hold on and check what they are. So number 1 is your digestion. So this is something that a lot of people seem to forget. If you weigh yourself in the morning, after you go to the bathroom, on an empty stomach, before you eat or drink anything, and with minimal clothing, that's where you should weigh yourself. And then you go and weigh yourself a week later, after lunch, after you've eaten and drank all day, of course you're going to weigh more. So you are holding on to the food and the drink that you have in your stomach if you haven't gone to the bathroom. So don't compare those 2 weights and think that you've gained weight. If you aren't weighing yourself consistently under the same variables, then it's going to fluctuate. You have to keep things as even as possible, as weight fluctuates bad enough as it is. So weigh yourself first thing in the morning, empty stomach, minimal clothing, and after you go to the bathroom. So ideally with empty bowels. So that's the first thing, digestion. The second thing is hydration and water retention. So the next 4 kind of fall under this. So number 2 will be after a really heavy strength session or strength workout and you have really bad DOMS, so delayed onset muscle soreness. If you have really bad DOMS and you step on the scales and it's jumped up, more than likely you're holding a little bit of water retention. So keep that in mind if you can't figure out why the scales have gone up, but you have really bad DOMS from like a heavy leg session, for example. That's a reason why you're holding on to water weight. Number 3 will be a lack of sleep or an increase in stress. These normally go hand in hand. So for example, if you're having a really stressful time at work, that will probably mean that you're having a really crappy sleep as well. Both have been shown to hold on to water weight. So you'll retain a lot more water, which will mean you will increase your weight on the scales. Cortisol levels are higher, and high cortisol levels mean more water retention. So that is digestion, a really heavy workout, strength workout, and stress and sleep. So a lack of sleep and an increase in stress. And number 4 is hormones or your time of month. So if you're a female and you are due your period, you are gonna gain weight on the scales, and just know that. So some people, some of my clients just won't weigh themselves around their period because it really affects people. But if you are someone that can step on and think, logically about why your weight has gone up and you can relate it to something that I have just mentioned, then that's fine. But if it really bothers you, I would suggest just don't weigh yourself in the lead up to your period, because you're going to be looking at an increase. Number 5 then is you had an increase in carbohydrate content or sodium the day before you weighed. So ideally you're weighing yourself in the morning. If you maybe ate later at night and you had more carbohydrates or you had more sodium or salt, for example, if you had a pizza but it's part of your diet, maybe you're having a refeed, maybe it was tracked completely. Pizzas are really high in sodium, really high in carbohydrates as well, so you're definitely going to be weighing more the next day. Of course, you might have the digestion, you might have the lack of sleep, you might have the heavy leg session, you might have all 5, and just know that that's normal why your weight will have gone up. So for every gram of carbohydrates that we store in our body as glycogen, you'll have 3 to 4 grams of water alongside it being stored. So if you drastically drop your carbohydrate intake for the week, for example, and then you weigh yourself the following week and your weight has dropped a lot, don't think that carbohydrates are bad and that that's the reason you haven't been losing weight is you've been having carbohydrates. That is not correct. Just know that for every gram of carbohydrates stored in your body, you're also storing 3 to 4 times that amount of water. So you drop down the carbohydrates drastically, you drop down your water content drastically as well. Eventually this will lead to lack of concentration, lack of energy, you won't be able to perform well, you won't be able to concentrate well. So all in all, really reducing your carbohydrate intake without needing to, or just to see a drop on the scales, isn't a smart idea. So that's the 5 reasons why you might have gained weight on the scales, but also 5 reasons why you haven't gained body fat, so don't panic. If you can't relate the increase on the scales to any of those 5 reasons, then maybe it is time that you change something with your diet or with your training program, and reduce your calorie intake and weigh again the following week and try something new. But if you can relate to any of the 5 reasons, then just know that everything is fine and everything is normal. Take your weight on a weekly basis or average out on a weekly basis, and all in all, month by month, you should be seeing decreases in your weight if the goal is fat loss. Other ways that you can track your progress is by using measurements, by using progress pictures or looking in the mirror and just seeing a difference. Using your clothes as a guide as well. You know how well your clothes fit. So if you have an item of clothing that's a little bit tight, use that as your item of clothing that you're going to use to track your progress. So if that eventually gets a little bit looser, then you know that you're making progress. So it's not all about the scales, but just know that if you are using the scales, those are 5 things that you should keep in mind when you are weighing yourself. Okie doke, I will see you again soon. Bye bye.